Set in a future where Earth has frozen over, humanity's last survivors ride aboard a perpetual train circling the globe. But even on this arc of life, stark divisions exist between the wealthy in the front and the poor in the back. When a group of tail section passengers decides to revolt, a perilous journey through the train's brutal hierarchy begins. In 2014, scientists attempted to save the Earth from global warming. Instead, they triggered a catastrophic ice age. The world froze, and now the only survivors live aboard a massive, constantly moving train designed by the mysterious Wilford. This train, powered by an engine that never stops, circles the planet endlessly, sheltering its inhabitants from the deadly cold outside. 17 years of oppression have passed. Curtis, a determined leader, has had enough. He begins planning a rebellion, counting the doors between the tail section and the front. It's time to change the future. Curtis isn't alone in his desire to break free. Edgar, his loyal friend, is by his side, and the rest of the tail section inhabitants are ready to follow him. But they need more than just numbers. They need strategy. One day, when the guards come to take an old violinist named Gerald, Curtis watches in anger as Gerald's wife is assaulted for trying to stop them. This event cements Curtis's resolve. As he continues his preparations, Curtis receives a secret message hidden inside a protein block. The note reads, Nam. This is the name of a skilled security expert imprisoned in one of the train's cars. Curtis realizes that Nam could be their key to opening the locked doors separating the tail from the front. With help from his mentor, the elderly Gilliam, Curtis begins to map out the next phase of their rebellion. The following day, guards return to the tail section, this time for a more sinister reason. Led by the cold and calculating minister Claude, they begin measuring the children. Tanya, a mother living in the tail section, tries to hide her young son Timmy beneath her skirt. But the guards find him. Tanya's cries are heart-wrenching as her son is ripped from her arms and taken away. Another child, Andy, is also captured. As Andrew, Andy's father, protests, he hurls a shoe at Claude, but the response is swift and cruel. The guards drag Andrew to the front and shove his arm through a hole in the wall, exposing it to the deadly cold outside. As the train hurtles forward, Andrew's arm freezes solid in minutes. Minister Mason arrives to give a cruel, condescending speech about the importance of order. Then, with a single swing of a hammer, Andrew's arm shatters, leaving him screaming in agony. Curtis watches, seething with anger. Curtis knows the time has come. With weapons made from scraps and stolen items, the rebels begin preparing for their uprising. Curtis has a plan. They will capture Nam, the security expert, and use his skills to unlock the doors. But they also need a way to create a distraction. Curtis suspects that the guards' guns are no longer functional, and if he's right, they have a real chance to overpower them. As the preparations continue, an artist among them sketches the faces of the stolen children, providing a reminder of what they're fighting for. This isn't just about freedom, it's about justice, about reclaiming what has been taken from them. The rebellion begins in earnest. Curtis's group causes a commotion by protesting their daily ration of protein blocks. The guards move in to restore order, but when one of them threatens to shoot Curtis, he calls their bluff. Curtis presses the barrel of the gun to his own forehead, daring the guard to pull the trigger. Click, no bullets. The rebels surge forward. With a massive makeshift battering ram, they push through the first door, overwhelming the guards who can no longer rely on their guns. The tail section erupts into chaos as the oppressed finally rise against their oppressors. Gray, a powerful fighter, takes down a massive guard and steals the keys that will lead them deeper into the train. The path to freedom is opening up. With the keys in hand, Curtis and his group reach the prison section, where they free Nam, the security expert. Nam is disoriented and strung out on cronole, a powerful drug, but Curtis offers him more in exchange for his help. Nam agrees, and together with his daughter Yona, they join the rebellion. Yona is no ordinary girl. She seems to have a sixth sense, able to perceive things before they happen. As Nam works on opening the first door, Yona warns the group that there's no one on the other side. Sure enough, when the door slides open, the next car is empty. For the first time in years, The rebels see sunlight filtering in through the windows, casting a pale glow on the frozen landscape outside. The world beyond the train is a desolate wasteland of snow and ice, a stark reminder of why they cannot leave. Their journey soon leads them to a car filled with masked men wielding axes. These warriors are cold and deadly, their faces hidden behind gruesome masks. As a twisted warning, one of them holds up a fish and slashes it open, letting the blood drip down. The rebels charge forward, but the fight is brutal. Blood splatters the walls as Curtis and Edgar battle side by side, cutting down the masked men. But the train enters a long, dark tunnel, and the lights go out. The masked men have special goggles to see in the dark, while the rebels are left blinded. In the pitch-black tunnel, the battle seems lost, but Curtis remembers the torch in Chan's possession. He orders him to light it, and soon, fire illuminates the car. The glow of the flame gives the rebels the advantage they need to push back the masked men. With the fight turning in their favor, they continue forward. But not all is well. Young Franco, one of the train's most vicious guards, captures Edgar. Curtis is forced to make an agonizing choice: save his friend or continue the fight. With a heavy heart, Curtis chooses to press on. Edgar is killed, but the rebellion must continue. Curtis feels the weight of his decision like a knife to the heart. With the path cleared, Curtis captures Minister Mason and forces her to lead them through the next cars. The rebels are shocked by what they see. Luxurious greenhouses, filled with fresh fruits and vegetables, and an aquarium teeming with life. These sights are a far cry from the grim existence of the tail section. When Mason offers the group sushi, a rare delicacy served only twice a year, Curtis coldly refuses, forcing her to eat one of the revolting protein blocks instead. Mason chokes on the vile food, her face twisted in disgust. It's a small victory, but one that gives Curtis some satisfaction. The next car is perhaps the most disturbing yet. It's a classroom filled with young children being indoctrinated into the cult of Wilford. The teacher, a woman with a sweet smile and a poisonous tongue, leads the children in songs praising Wilford as their savior. Tanya and Andrew beg the teacher for answers about their missing children, but she gives them nothing. Instead, she tells the children that without the train, they would all freeze to death. As a video plays, showing Wilford's supposed benevolence, the teacher smiles, secure in her twisted beliefs.
If the engine stops, we all freeze and die.
Curtis can barely contain his rage. The group continues forward, passing through one luxurious car after another. Mason reveals the dark truth about the train's water supply. It comes from the ice and snow the train breaks as it moves through the frozen world. Curtis realizes that if he can control the water, he can control the train. But Mason's revelation also comes with a warning. Without Wilford's leadership, the delicate balance that keeps the train alive could collapse. Curtis must decide whether to continue the fight or negotiate a truce. As they press on, Curtis and his group begin to see the full extent of the disparity between the front and the tail. The people in the front live in opulence, while those in the tail have been reduced to little more than animals. Curtis's resolve hardens. He knows that there can be no peace until this system is destroyed. Finally, Curtis reaches the front of the train, where he comes face to face with Wilford himself. The truth is more horrifying than Curtis could have imagined. Wilford reveals that the rebellion was planned all along. The train requires periodic population control to maintain balance, and the uprisings are simply part of that cycle. Even Gilliam, Curtis's mentor, was in on the plan. Curtis is shattered by this betrayal. Everything he fought for was a lie, and now he faces an impossible choice. Take Wilford's place as the leader of the train or destroy everything. In the final moments, Curtis makes his choice. With Yona's help, he discovers that the world outside is beginning to thaw. There is life beyond the train. Curtis sacrifices himself to destroy the engine, bringing the train to a halt. Yona and a young boy step out into the frozen wasteland, where they see a polar bear in the distance. Life endures, and with it, hope. The world may have been frozen, but the human spirit remains unbroken.